Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'll give a minute here, see who's going to join us. We have a couple of things I want to cover today. One is talking about the orange safety stickers or warning stickers that Zippo enthusiasts know so much about. There's a couple of listings of those, about 3 of them on eBay that we're going to take a look at. And also realized last week remembered that I had never rerouted the Wick in this Majestic Views insert, or haven't even really looked in there to see if it needed it. I'm sure it does, but it's working all right, but I don't know. It does seem like you might get a day or so longer out of them when you get that wick into the proper zigzag position. So those are the two things I want to talk about, and thought that Tuesday morning with a cup of coffee would be a good time to do that. So I can see that somebody has hit the thumbs up, but nobody's commented in the chat. If you are here in the live stream with us today, feel free to go ahead and say hello and join the discussion, and I'll be glad to talk about anything that you guys want to talk about, in addition to this little project and the safety sticker discussion that I want to have. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started here. I'll let you get a look at these listings. We see this discussion all the time in the Facebook lighter groups about leaving flint in lighters, especially in the Zippo groups, because in the Zippo group so many people seem so ignorant of it. But a flint left in a lighter for an extended period of time, and there's some other conditions that need to be present as well. Say moisture for one, and I'm not a scientist. I don't know all the technical terms. Maybe oxidation. But over time and in the right conditions, then that flint in that tube will deteriorate. It will degrade. And I don't really know. I've never really had anybody give me a definitive answer. I don't know that. I have read, I should say, that there are people who seem to think the various stages of flint are because of different reasons, where I tend to think that maybe those stages of the flint are just different levels of degradation. In other words, I think it'll all end up turning to powder, even those that are concrete, if it's left in there for enough time. But I could be wrong. Like I said, that's just my impression. I pulled that out to illustrate the flint. So getting back to it, the problem with these warning stickers on the back of the Zippo when you buy them, and apparently that is only in North America or various others, but it's not all around the world that they even put these warning stickers on there. But when they do, and then exposed to the right conditions or wrong conditions for the proper period of time, then you're going to get flint that degrade and, like I said, either turn to concrete, dust, and in many cases will damage the metal on the inside of the lighter and could damage the finish as well. Now, that doesn't even take into account the fact that the adhesive on the back of these stickers, apparently there is a there has been an upgrade. The stickers, the more plastic type stickers that they put on there nowadays are a little bit easier to peel off, don't leave as much adhesive, or don't just pull apart like the paper stickers did, I guess. And I'm not sure if, the paper stickers degraded over time. Who knows about these plastic stickers that they've just recently started using. But either way, it can damage the finish of the lighter, on top of the fact that you've got flint inside that is damaging the inside of the lighter and also maybe the finish. But the interesting thing is that so many people swear that if it has this sticker on there, then that proves that it is in the exact condition that they bought it in. And nothing could be further from the truth. If it's an old lighter, then the chances are there is a disaster waiting to be opened up there. It's just you putting your head in the sand, and that sticker being on the back of it doesn't change anything. And you always see this brought up in those arguments, in those Facebook lighter groups, specifically Zippo lighter groups, is that you see these for sale on eBay. So anybody can just slap those stickers on there. And it's true, you can. There are 3, I didn't look up exclusive or extensively. I think I searched for Zippo warning sticker, and there were 3 that came up, so I saved all 3 of those just so we could go back and look at them now. Now, the interesting thing is they all look different. And the perspective of the seller, I think, is also interesting, because I think from a lot of Zippo collectors' perspective, this would be looked at as underhanded, dirty dealing, that somebody would even sell these stickers. And yet 2 of the 3 listings are from people. This first one is from an adhesive or decal seller, so that makes perfect sense. This guy, you wouldn't think he would care one way or another about Zippo lighters or any kind of collectible lighter. He's just selling decals and maybe some other stuff. But anyway, that one doesn't surprise me. But let's look at the actual stickers too. These look like they are still on a paper backing that it can be peeled off of, just like you would expect something like that to come on. So I don't know, with that guy selling other decals, it seems possible to me that he could be printing these up himself. I wouldn't put that past anybody. We all know that there are fake vintage boxes out there. Chuck Riley did a video on that a year or 2 ago. So they'll counterfeit anything if they think it can pass or make some money, or who knows what their motivation is. Let's go ahead and look at these other 2 though. Now these, well, I don't know that they look like they are uniformly on there or not. They kind of look offset here. So I don't know if that is maybe something that has been peeled off and then put on a bigger film sheet of some kind. It kind of looks like these might have been on actual Zippos that, as you can see, they're crooked. It doesn't look like they're uniformly placed on these sheets. Anyway, maybe, maybe not. This particular seller, though, is also selling all kinds of other Zippo items, lighters, inserts. So make of that what you will. Obviously, if he's a lighter guy, and I would think he was selling all that other lighter stuff, then we know what his position is. He doesn't have any problem with the warning labels if he's just going to sell them. The next one, now these have obviously to me been peeled off of Zippos off of new Zippos and then put on this sheet. And I think that's confirmed when you look at the seller's other stuff. He's selling some other Zippo stuff, legitimate stuff in bulk boxes. So here would be another apparent lighter guy that obviously doesn't have any problem selling these stickers, because it looks like he's even selling recycled. I wonder if it even says that in the listing. It says 18-piece Zippo warning label stickers, orange Zippo lighter seal stickers, condition is new. Well, new would tell me it had never been put on a product, but so maybe they are brand new. Seems like a strange way that they would have been, wouldn't have thought they would have come from the factory like that, from the printing press. Anyway, so that just is an overview. We've all talked about that, and I see that brought up, like I said, in the Facebook lighter groups, Zippo addicts and some of those. So for $16, $13.50 for 30, $8 for 10, or 18 for $16. And they've sold 71 of those. Look how many people have bought that. They've sold 71. So there's a lot of those stickers floating around out there that, for one reason or another, somebody wants them to put on a lighter. I don't know what that purpose would be, unless it would be to seal something back up that wasn't sealed, which is exactly what most Zippo collectors think this sticker does, is prove to them that the lighter has never been opened. Anyway, all right, we can talk about that some more if you guys want to. I'll leave that up open in the background, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to work. You can see that wick has charred up pretty good, and I've used it quite a bit. Been a few times that I let it run out of fuel and didn't really put it to as much use as I should have, but I'm going to have to set this down for a minute and retrieve some of my tools. Need to take better stock next time of what I have here with me, because I don't really have a proper screwdriver. And I'm not sure if I have opened this one before or not. So I may damage this flint spring screw trying to get it open. But I'm not selling this lighter anyway. This is my own personal carry lighter, so I'll just go ahead and use the pliers. Yeah, that's my problem, Dave, is too often I don't have anything that fits. Especially when it comes to those flint spring screws. They're so small, maybe not as deep or too wide for the implement that I have. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and open this all up. Saw your comment there after mine on the Discord thread, Dave. I appreciate that. Letting everybody know. That's how I always know when ZF77 is coming on. If I'm not on YouTube and see it myself, then I usually see Dave. That one, look at that wick. That wasn't too bad. Wasn't all the way down to the bottom, but at least down to the hump. I'd say that was better than most. Anyway, that's how I'm usually notified of ZF77's live streams, is because I get the notification from the Discord, Dave, letting everybody know. Alright, so all of this cotton really came out in individual pieces. I think since we're doing it, we might as well turn the wick around. I guess I could just go ahead and cut that off. I do have scissors here with me. Coming to you again from the Deep Deuce Studios. Well, you know, Dave, I just, for one thing, with lighters, there's not a lot that's, it's kind of basic stuff. Once you get a hold of the you know, the principles of it. Guess I should go ahead and get that in there before I bloom it out. But man, there are so many mechanisms and so many, you know, Larry Leiter, one of my Facebook friends, he posts all the time in Facebook groups, and there's so many lighters, you know, it's confounding to me, and it's just hard to be. I may know a few things about a few lighters, but it's hard to call me an expert, because there are some mechanisms out there that I'm sure would humble me. And I need to pay attention to what I'm doing here, or I'm going to prove it to you that I'm no expert by my inability to get this wick through. And I can hear everybody screaming now because I get those comments about why I'm not doing it from the bottom or the top, and since I've been having trouble, I'll go ahead and do it. So we'll get that pulled through. So I've got some of my tools here with me, and I'll try to do a better job in future live streams to have everything here with me. Yeah, you know, J-Row, some of those antique shops and vintage places, you find them so cheap that, you know, it pays to keep your eyes open for any of them, especially when you got the possibility to trade and all that. So I hear you, but man, there's some really awesome and wonderful mechanisms out there besides the Zippo. Zippo's cool. Zippo's really cool. I need to turn on this chat where it stays up here so I can see what you guys have said. Some of those lighters, man, and you know, some of them are really even value-wise. So it's hard to find Zippos that are worth more. But I'm saying that as a person who, that's, you know, I've talked about it many times before. I really got in this just to make money. I wasn't a collector at all. I was fixing them simply so I could sell them because I felt like a working lighter was more desirable. So I've got that wick down along the bottom there, or actually along the top. We'll start putting the cotton back in. So I felt like a working lighter was going to make me more money than a lighter that wasn't functioning. So that's how I got into fixing them. But yeah, I get it. As a Zippo collector, I can't even begin to, you know, mine, I don't even really have Zippo themes. It's just what I like. Other than maybe the one topic I shouldn't say on the live stream. So now I might should have been paying more attention here. I was not looking at the viewfinder on the iPad here. I apologize if I was off screen with any of that. Get our felt pad back in place. Pensacola, Oklahoma, on the Arkansas border. Yeah, I'm very familiar. I've spent a lot of time up in the northeastern part of the state or south of Tahlequah at Lake Tenkiller. Vacationed up there as a child and young man, and spent a lot of time up there as an adult as well. Hello, Azrael. Glad you are with us today as well. Wish there was a way that I could keep this chat up here. And that was Ron Hardcrackers who was talking about Pensacola, I think it was. He says ZF77 sent him, and certainly glad for that. ZF77 has been a great friend of this channel for, oh, I guess we became acquainted a couple of years ago now. If you guys have any idea how I can keep the chat up on my screen, you might let me know. Hey Ron, yeah, the YouTube pipe community, you know, 2 a.m. pipe on the patio, we're all familiar with him, and there's a few others as well. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank now on the guy. I might have to look him up. It's a guy that I think I logged out of here earlier. Let's see. And I apologize, man. I can't remember your name, but I want to make sure the other YTPC guy that I follow. Well, did I somehow... His stuff kept disappearing there for a while. Anyway, some of you guys might remember I did a video on him a while back. It was around the same time as, I think it was that, may have been that same video that I did where I was talking about Terry Travels the Universe. Anyway, whatever. I apologize. Now I can't remember the guy's name. Yeah, I hear you, John. There's a lot of... No, it wasn't Slow-Mo Randy. This guy was, he's Irish. Golly. I can't remember. Kind of crazy. That wadding didn't feel wet at all. But obviously everything feel wet enough that the lighter... I don't remember the last time that I fueled it. It's been in the last 3 or 4 days anyway. Pull out one of the canisters here in a minute and fuel it up. You talking about the date on this? It's D of, so what's that? ABCD, that's April this year. My birthday's in April. Yeah, and I don't even remember what the other one, the date on the other one. I've got 2 of them. The other one is still in the box in the rotating Zippo display. So I am kind of curious what the value of these are going to be, how that will trend over time, because, you know, people talk about how many of them they put out there. And obviously, they have put a lot of them out there, but there's a ton of those brass Broncos out there too. And those are an easy $100 a piece in the box. maybe even a little more. So, I don't know. Just because there's a ton of something out there. Look at black crackles. There's a ton of black crackles out there. No, it wasn't either one of those guys either, Ron. What? I'm trying. This chat keeps going away on me. Jero asked, "I'm in the middle of nowhere." Said, "I'm in the middle of nowhere. Connection is bad." Just saw my last comment pop up 4 times. Oh, I didn't. It didn't pop up here, man. I don't know. That might be something just glitchy on your end. Don't worry about it, man. It's all good. Dead Stick Dave says, "I think eventually they will level out to about $50." You talking about the Majestic Views or the Marlboro Bronco? Said in 10 years, maybe 25% increase. They've made so many now that it'll be a decade. Yeah. Yeah, you just never know, man. There's times that something sits around and it's not appreciated at the time. And then some element of it, maybe over time they don't hold up like you would expect. The finish on this is, yeah, I think so too. I think the Bronco it's kind of an iconic thing with the Marlboro and all that. And the fact that really, I mean, this isn't necessarily cigarette advertising. This is just something that is exclusive to the cigarette company. But the fact that they're not allowed to do that kind of advertising where they put, the Marlboro brand or name or anything like that on anything but the product. So definitely with the old stuff, before, I don't remember what years those lawsuits were and all that, but I'm trying to. Dead Stick said I tossed my 540 like it had wings once by accident. I'm not a monster, and I chipped a tiny spot on the bottom left corner. Yeah, like I said, I haven't chipped any. Well, maybe you would call that a small chip. You might even call that a chip. Definitely a scuff. But along here, you can see where I've seen a glint of metal a time or two. I think right down here you can. Well, I don't know, because these scratches over here you can see as well. So I'm curious to see how durable it is, because I really have babied it in my pocket. It's only once. I can only remember once having it up against anything that would have done that. I think I have a video already in the queue where I'm talking about all this, so I probably ought to shut up. Curious about that too. The first one I have, the one that's still in the box, it didn't have that white. It's not that the wrap is missing, it's just a different color there on that part of the wrap. Hey, Thwan, good to see you, my man. I don't know if I can I chat back on here? I don't know that I can. Everybody say hello to Thwan. And I'm somewhat, I think Thwan is from Vietnam. We did the live stream last week, and it was, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes or so. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and try to do this on Tuesday. So I invited Thwan. So I'm very glad you showed up, man. And like I said, we'll try to do this for the time being. Tuesdays about 10 a.m. I'll try to have a project, or remember what I should be getting back to here, a project or something for us to discuss, and you know, a cup of coffee, whatever you guys want to bring along. And we'll just make that a deal every Tuesday morning. I shouldn't need this whole canister since it was already lighting, I wouldn't think. I wasn't going to, Dave. I didn't think it really needed it, but then when I tried to light it and just let it burn a second ago, it petered out after just a couple seconds. So might as well go ahead and fill it up. You know, I used my jet lights so much that a lot of times, just because they stay fueled so much longer, I kind of lean on them. I'm trying to be better though about using my petrol lighters and keeping them fueled up. So that's why these are all out here. This one needs to be fueled again too, but all I have is that one little canister until I can get back over to our normal headquarters, our normal studio, and get my can of fuel. Take a look at the chat here again. Oh man, wish I could translate that, Thwan. YouTube is very convenient in that when someone comments on a video in a foreign language, it allows,
if you want to be healthier, you've got to get cachafa.
It allows you to translate it. So that's how I know what Thwan is telling me. But right at the moment, I don't have the ability to do that. So I apologize, Thwan. But if you'll comment that in this video, I'll go ahead and leave this. As far as unless there's a reason somebody knows that I shouldn't, I'm gonna go ahead and leave these up. I know that ZF77 has started racing his for some reason. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure one of you will tell me. I'm sure Dave knows. Anyway, I will translate that and try to respond to you. But I appreciate you, my friend, for your commenting. And one thing that Thwan has mentioned in the past is that he watches all the ads. And that really is a good way to support the channel. That the amount of ads that are watched by viewers that they are able to skip really does make a difference. Now I see Azriel and Dave commenting. Azriel said, my favorite lighter is a $1 chrome Zippo with a Zorro single torch. Yeah, you know, I used to have the Zippo single torch, and it crapped out on me. So I don't have it anymore. Or I have it somewhere, but it's no use. But I would like to try the soft flame. And I would even give the single flame or double flame another chance, because I do use butane lighters a lot. But I don't have any experience at all with Zorro. Azrael, what do you think of the Zorro? Yeah, I was just trying to feel my way here through it, Dave, and like I said, it's so confusing, man, because it doesn't let me just keep the chat on the screen. Yeah, that's what I think I would like. You know, the only problem is, well, that's not a problem, because I'm going to carry this anyway. The Oklahoma wind really does dictate that I carry something with a hard jet. But my preference, the vast majority of the time, is a soft flame. Like I said, I feel like I got to be extra careful here on the live stream what we're talking about. So you guys know the kind of things I like and why I might use that particular flame or not. I think Thwan understands me better than I understand him. But Thwan, I hope you know, like I said earlier, I hope you know how much I appreciate you, my friend. And I appreciate all you guys. I think last week the highest we had on here at one time was 5, and just a moment ago the number up here said 6. So I appreciate every one of you. You guys want to talk any more about the stickers? Do y'all have a hard opinion? Does that seem like dirty dealing to you that a lighter guy would be selling those stickers? Or is that just... No, actually, Fifth Angel, and hello to you. I don't think that I've ever had any Douglas lighters. Douglas, as far as I remember seeing a lift arm lighter that was kind of a slim wafer type, with a straight up and over type mechanism, maybe. Not the same kind of mechanism as what you think of with the Dunhill and all that. Yeah, I thought that's probably about the way you would feel about it, Dave. But I don't know if you were with us when, well, you can see it right here on this one. This guy sold 104 of these. The one earlier was 71. So they've obviously sold a lot of them. Somebody thinks they're pretty important. I would like to bust that myth and kind of wake up some of these Zippo collectors to realize exactly what kind of damage they might be doing. They think they're keeping it in brand new condition, but it's just a facade. It's just something that might help them sleep at night, but the minute they crack that thing open, they're most likely going to figure out something different. You guys know that. Well, this is, will it actually do that on, let's see. That's, I don't know how it works with that. That's one listing that sells multiple times, so it stays up. I don't know if it'll show as being sold that many times. We'll find out. I think I looked up Zippo warning sticker. Okay, so there you see the top three, the ones we had. Go over here to our sold. Yeah, maybe we'll show them every time. Well, yeah, who knows what. Of course, we don't. This is the last 90 days. I don't know what that, when it says 104, that could have been the lifetime of the listing. But there are some here that we didn't have before as well, or we didn't see. That one and that one are duplicates. These three are the ones that we saw. There's some others. So anyway, have been plenty of them sell. But yeah, it's hard for me to imagine, as like I said, I'm primarily a seller. I do have a Zippo collection that's, you know, like I said, pretty much just my own taste, not even any real themes. And then, you know, I'll collect anything is the stuff that I like Ford and some of the other lighters that relate to my dad and some of my other relatives that have passed. I don't know, there might be some relatives that haven't passed. I'd have to go look. But other than that, of course, the Cygnus. I am a Cygnus lighter collector for sure. That's the part where I'm 100%, you know, I'm in the hobby as a collector. And but as far as selling lighters, like I said, has been my main goal for this whole time. I just can't imagine ever doing anything like that. I would have never done anything that would have brought question to my integrity. As far as, you know, it's just like with the given the conditions of lighters, it's hard to imagine. I'm sorry, I got a little confused there. When it comes to given the condition of a lighter, I want to make sure that every blemish is pointed out. But as far as, like, you know, it's very intimidating coming up with you know, grading things like by some rigid scale, like, you know, mint plus means this, mint means this, you know, and you follow these very rigid, it can't have any more than, you know, one detraction, you know, all this other stuff. That's just too much for me to deal with. So I use what I consider a sort of perfectly imprecise way to describe the flaws on my lighter. I think I cover it all without well, first of all, I add etc. at the end of there. Let me go ahead and, well, as long as we're here, I might as well show you what I'm talking about. I don't even know one here. Let's take this. I couldn't believe when I saw this the other day. I was going through, our friend Robert Hollingsworth bought a couple of lighters the other day, and when I was looking through it, when I was finding the lighters to ship, I saw this lighter in the box, and I thought I'd sold that months ago. Anyway, of course, all my lighters are ready to use. You just need to add fuel. But then this is my condition description. This lighter shows wear, scuffs, paint loss, damage, scratches, dings, finish loss, corrosion, etc. So the etc. kind of covers anything I might have missed, but you know, I'm pointing out plenty of things here that sort of cover the bases. Now, I don't think I used the word dent in that one. So to me, that's a pretty straight lighter. To me, there's a difference between a ding and a dent. Now, it's definitely scratched up, definitely some dings to the bottom of the lighter. A lot of imperfections. Finish loss, scuffs. Finish loss was the word I used up here. So, anyway, I don't know why I felt the need to explain that, or how I even got off on it. Oh, I was talking about selling. Yeah, I don't have very many lighters listed right at the moment. I think I'm down to, what was it, 15? So I got a handful though. I got a whole container here that all lighters you guys have seen that I'll be listing soon. Maybe some of them are in a little bit lesser condition to where I'll need to list them in lots. Some of them are really nice, like that Ronson Gem. It's lipstick lighters. Ronson Standard. Anyway. So yeah, it may not seem like I have much of a store nowadays, the way that I've been keeping it. And I also haven't been running the charity auctions once I took the summer off for the most part. So I'll try to be getting that back to that soon. That's it's an important part of what I do, or what I want to do, is the awareness for Huntington's disease. And I think that's an important way that I can do that. That's another thing. Anything you buy from me, besides the packaging and all that Dave mentioned in the chat, was that there will be a flyer giving you some information about Huntington's disease, which is a disease which my father passed from. It's been 5 years ago now, a little over that. So it's been a cause that my family has been very involved in. And to be honest, a disease which I spent a good portion of my life, at least 7 years, convinced I had it. And if that had been the case, it would have been a whole different path from where I'm at today. Finding out I didn't have that disease opened up possibilities that I didn't think were possible. It's really talked about my alcoholism in the past and all that. And it was really a down part of my life, but praise Jesus, we're past all that now. And I apologize if I've missed any of you guys' comments down here. Because I'm trying to keep up, but they keep disappearing before I can get to them. And I saw Thwan said something about no China. I don't know if he was talking about the Zorro products. Or Azrael, when you asked earlier, Azrael, do you collect Chinese old lighters? The only old Chinese lighters that I can remember having were the Sunflower 6506, which are very similar to well, I'm not sure what I can look up there without violating copyrights and stuff. The Sunflower 6506, I guess I can do it on eBay. The Sunflower 6506 is a, like I said, I think you'd call it an IMCO type lighter. And according to the Toledo Bend VCL website, they were the first Chinese company to break into, okay, right here, Sunflower 6506. Really cool, really neat mechanism, and they work pretty well. I believe I had 2 of them back when I first started, and then I had another one here a year or so ago. But I also know that they made something called the Little Colorful Lighter series or something like that. Somebody left me a comment on a video a couple of years ago asking me about Sunflower. So you have the Sunflower 6506, Azrael. Have you had any of the others? Are you familiar with the Little Colorful series that I'm talking about? The spring is going to be, I don't know the mechanism well enough. Yeah, the spring inside here is going to be for your flint. So this spring here, it may be the tension for when the cover comes down. I'm not certain. If I could move it, we could figure it out, but I don't know if that's for the, I think it may be so that the cover, because it locks in place down here under, but it wouldn't, would it be held by that same spring tension that's holding the flint? I don't know. Somebody will know. Somebody will correct us if I'm wrong. Yeah, I hope I don't get in trouble for, I think that's fair use, isn't it? eBay. We're just looking at what's listed. I'm not trying to violate anything. I'm not sure what you're talking about, the IMCO stapler spring design, Dave. Is that in one of the IMCO lighters? Similar to a stapler spring? But I don't really know for sure how similar those are to IMCO. That was just my impression. I think they were also, they came along quite a bit later. I think those were maybe the late 60s, probably more likely the early 70s. The Sunflower 6506 that I'm talking about. Yeah, that would be an interesting video to do with the side by side with the mechanisms. Fifth Angel, when you say Zama Celeste, is that a butane lighter? Because I don't do anything with old butane lighters. I just use I use any butane lighter that I'll find, that I can find that'll work, but that's not very many. Your best bet, and these aren't that old, but you'll see these in a lot of lighter lots. The Ronson Jet Light. I did a video on those, I don't know, a year or so ago. They're really good. I've got some problems. I've blown one out, and then there's one's got some adjustment issues, but of the dozen or so of them that I have, all but those two are still working just fine. Excuse me. Are you talking about the Zippo butane inserts, Dave? I definitely want to try the soft flame. It seems like that would be worthwhile. But I would really love it if the single flame would work out like it was supposed to. And like I said, I think I mentioned in the video that I made for that single flame torch insert that I had dropped it off a third floor balcony, so I was trying not to be judgmental. But you know, it really wasn't all that light or that heavy. I don't know. The fact that it should have been damaged from just a fall like that didn't seem likely to me. But like I said, I will give it another shot. I would, if I can get a hold of one for the right price. I just have a hard time paying anywhere near market price for anything without at least first, you know, trying to find it on eBay used. Yeah, I've seen those Thunderbird on Amazon or somewhere before the Zorros became so prevalent. But I think ZF77 is pretty high on the Zorro stuff, it seems like. And I know I see a lot of people that maybe it was over on the Discord, some of the pictures that people were posting stuff. I try not to be a hater on any of it. You know, we're all trying to do the same thing, light something up. But there's definitely some that are more efficient or work better. It's just like Zippo. You know, Zippo flame, the wind test and all that. It's all well and good. But when that flame is blowing around in the wind, sometimes that just because the flame's not going out doesn't mean it's useful to you. Because if it's dancing all over the place, or you're lighting your cigarette in the middle, or you can't even get it to light because it's moved to the left or to the right or up or down before you get the end of whatever you're trying to light down there to it. Yeah, Dave, it can be are you in Kentucky? I don't know what the wind's like in Kentucky, but if it's anything like it is in Oklahoma at times, and I know, you know, Oklahoma's not the only windy place in the world. But yes, Azrael, the precision, the precise flame of the butane jet, that doesn't dance around in the wind. Sometimes the wind will push it a little bit, but it's not going to run away from you. So yeah, I would like to try out. I'm going to do that. Try to make a point of that. Getting those two inserts, the soft flame and another single torch. It seems like about 5 days tops. Maybe 6 if you don't use it much. Azrael, somebody pointed out to me, and I hadn't really thought a whole lot about differing conditions like that, but somebody had mentioned that back before the summer that I think it was somebody that lived in Spain or something, and they said that it was very hot where they lived, so fuel evaporated much faster. So I guess that's possible. I got a buddy that lives up on an island off of Washington State called Anacortes, and it's like stays between like 35 and 80 degrees there, and 80 degrees may be a stretch. So maybe in a place like that, a Zippo wouldn't evaporate as quick. So I guess you got to worry about the heat with the Zippo, where people complain about the cold with a butane lighter. The butane lighters won't necessarily operate correctly in the cold, but yeah, you could have some differing factors. As Azrael says here, only about 2 or 3 days. Yeah, there's times when I think 2 or 3 days, but when it's fully fueled, most of mine that I have used for any period of time will be more toward the 5 days or so. Where are you at, Azrael? And am I saying your name correctly? Dave mentions up also sea level proximity, temperature, humidity, barometric pressure. Yeah. Dave, our friend Giovanni, he doesn't believe in the capillary effect. And I'm saying that with humor in my voice, hoping that Giovanni will hear this and know that I mean that in good fun. Because we've had many good conversations about the action or behavior of wicks and wadding. Okay, now that's an idea. So you keep it in some kind of sealed container all the time, I would guess. Like a Ziploc bag, or like something with O-rings. NAFTA Flame says that he likes to put tape around the lid. That's one way to do it. I like to just keep plenty of fuel on hand. I keep 2 of those canisters. What did I do with the one I just had? I keep 2 of those canisters on my bag, and then I just try. I've always got at least a 12-ounce can. Like I said, I don't have it with me today, but I keep a 12-ounce can, and then I have 2 of those that go with me wherever I go. How much? I think when I bought these, Azrael, they were like $10 a piece. Are they more than that now? So we could look that up. Yeah, now whether or not they'll ship to your country, I guess that may be the problem. Here's $10, $12 with free shipping in the US. And I think they have them on Amazon as well. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about a rubber band like that. That is a good idea, Dave. A wide rubber band would. Now I don't know. Obviously, as as it works back and forth in your pocket, you may have some that escape, but it would certainly, I would think, keep it from evaporating as much, as it does. Just being an open lighter or a closed lighter that basically can come out the wick anytime. There's nothing really tight closed over the wick like you have on Ronson lighters or lighters that really have a snuffer rather than just a lid. And then of course it's not a perfect fit, so there's vapor evaporating out or fuel evaporating out the sides constantly as well. Like I said, to me it's just the part of the cost of doing business. If you're going to carry a petrol lighter, then you're just not as concerned about whether you're making every ounce of fuel efficiency that you can. But I appreciate that people want to do that. It doesn't bother me that others want to do that. It's just not something that I lose any sleep over. Yeah, it evaporates out all. I mean, it's evaporating everywhere. All of the case isn't really holding anything in there. There's cracks back here in the hinge area or crevices that it can get out. There's not a seal on the whole thing. Yeah, Dave mentions a mini butane. I haven't seen a mini butane small enough. Maybe I just haven't looked, but small enough to carry with me. But the Zippo canisters certainly are very easy for carrying the petrol. ZF77 has pointed out before the weak link on the chain. I never had any problem, but I'm just walking down city streets when I go home, or throwing it into the car. I don't, I'm not walking. I don't bang into anything, but yeah, if you're the kind of person that dragging it through the brush or something, then you might want to make sure that link is replaced with something that's not going to bend so easy. But the canister itself is great. It's a really good product that I would recommend to anybody. Ezrael said the colorful sunflower lighter we were talking about was rather good with keeping the fuel. Okay, the colorful sunflower. I'm going to have to look into that a little more. I know that somebody brought that up a good while back, several years ago, or maybe a couple of years ago. I shouldn't say several. I think I created this channel in July of 2018. At that point, I was about 9 months into my involvement in the cigarette lighter hobby. And I did videos basically just so that I could put them in my eBay listings. So when you see one of my listings, there's always going to be an accompanying video, and you can find that by going to the description. In some apps it'll play right from it, some it goes to a it opens up into the eBay or YouTube app or browser or whatever else. And this particular device, for whatever reason, I wouldn't think my Wi-Fi would be down in this house right now, or I wouldn't be able to. Anyway, for some reason that link isn't working correctly right at the moment. Try it once more. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. Anyway, typically you can see if your Wi-Fi is working correctly, you'll be able to see the lighter video, which you all are more than aware of. Our YouTube channel. And it didn't seem like that would have been that difficult to come up with those 2 words. Maybe I need to split the dependable flame. There we go. So, oh, there it comes. I thought it wasn't going to play here now as well. So anyway, that was my original purpose for the channel, was to put those videos in the listings. And so that I could basically give like a, condition report, show that the lighter worked. And so my whole philosophy there for the first few years was basically, I was trying to be concise, make short little videos that got all the information I could into them. And it was, like I said, I wasn't even really, it was more just about selling the lighter. I wasn't even really trying to show it off. So then once I started trying to show them off a little bit more, I still wasn't making all that long a video. But anyway, obviously things changed over time from little 30-second to 1-minute videos to now closer to 10-minute, and eventually the repair videos. And I think that's really where the most value in the channel, because I'm not really afraid of messing the lighters up, because the vast majority of the time I haven't paid much for them. So I'm not like, some of my Facebook friends, there's a guy named Stuart Linton. That guy wants to completely disassemble every lighter that he has. I'm not really that way. I'm not afraid to disassemble them, but if I can get away without it, I would prefer not to. Just like if I had a car engine out there that was in perfect brand new condition, only had a small number of miles on it over an incredible number of years, never burned oil or anything like that, I wouldn't be too eager to take that engine apart either. But I understand the mindset of wanting to. I want to, but once again, my main purpose has always been, this lighter needs to be sold. So if I damage it, I'm not going to be able to sell it. That's not going to help me. So, you know, I just want to get them working so I can, you know, sell a working lighter. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. Yeah, I hear you, Dave. The one thing that I do think, putting a drill bit in a curved tube, you can ruin one that way. And where most people think the danger is from breaking the solders loose. You know, this is soldered in down here and then up here. I don't think the danger is so much in breaking the solder as it is breaking through the tube with a drill. Of course, some of those same people would tell you not to use the drill, period. So that's what Ted Ballard told me. Ted told me never use a power tool on a lighter, but with my hands being what they are, there's just no way around it for me. I'm going to use a power tool. If I got to spin that thing by hand for more than 5 minutes, and I'm probably not even going to make it that long. So I'm not making any apologies about that. Yeah, you know, I think when you look at, I don't think Facebook shows thumbs downs anymore, Dave. Well, let's just go look at it. Let's go look at that video. Trying to figure the right keywords here, and I might be better off to just go scroll down my here we go. How to repair vintage cigarette lighters that won't spark. Curved tube method. I think this lighter pissed a few people, or this video pissed a few people off. Because when it, at least when it used to show the number, it just shows thumbs up now. Why is this not going down for me? $227 likes. And like I said, it doesn't show dislikes. It gives you the ability to dislike, but it doesn't publicly show them. Let me take this off camera real quick and I can find out. I know that my channel average for likes versus dislike is like 97.7% per video. And I think I can go to YouTube Analytics. And see maybe not. I can't see it here on the screen. So it's been a successful video for me, but I know it had like, back when it was still showing thumbs down, it had like at least, like out of 100, for 70 likes, it would have 30 dislikes. 30 thumbs down for every 70 thumbs up. So yeah, that particular method of, we're still on that here, where I'm basically ramming that rod down the tube. It can be effective, And like I said, I don't really make any apologies for it. At the time, it was, I mean, I have repaired a lot of lighters. I've cleared a lot of tubes that way. But there are better ways to do it, for sure. Somewhere toward the beginning of that video, I believe I have left a card which pushes people toward the disassembly video instead. Well, no, I didn't say it was dumb. I just said there are better ways to do it. Yeah, improvise and adapt. You're right. Getting it working, that's the important part. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you guys for today. I appreciate every one of you joining me. And like I said, I'll hop on again next Tuesday about 10 a.m. Glad for all of you. Dave, Azrael, Ron Hardcrackers. Let me look back through here. There was a fifth something. NAFTA.com 2734. Thuan Nguyen, our friend from Vietnam. Fifth Angel. Appreciate all of you. And I'm sure I forgot a few. But we will see you guys next week.